Call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and we will start with the town manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to remind you that town meeting is on Monday, June 10th at 7 o'clock in the Opera House. And elections are the following day on Tuesday, June 11th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. here in the council room. We certainly want to have as many voters attend as possible. And our selectmen's meeting on June 11th will be upstairs in the Opera House. Want to again congratulate Randy Gray. Last week, I had the privilege to go to the Maine Building Officials and Inspectors Association annual meeting where he received the Code Enforcement of the Year award. So I want to congratulate Randy on that. Okay. And the town, we have our surplus property for sale right now online. It's we're going through Auctions International again this year. For more information, you can visit our website. There's links there and also on our Facebook page. And that's all I have for the evening.
Thank you. Any items by the public? Go ahead, sir. If you can stand right up here and state your name for us.
My name is Paul Pono. I live up on Bigelow Hill. And I'm here tonight to bring up an issue that came across to me this past month. The town has a practice of the fire department billing for accidents. And what I'll do is give you a brief thing of what happened to me. My daughter came home from school. She's a senior at skowhegan. I had a lot of ice in the road, bottom Bigelow Hill. That one slid out the side of the ditch. She called 911, didn't know what to do. Fire truck comes, police truck comes in. She called home me, and I came right down. And there was no damage. The thing was, there was no damage to anything. There was no damage to any property. It was just she slid off to the side of the ditch. So when we hauled it out, the police officer, I said, well, do I have to file a report? He said, no, there's absolutely no damage. So there is no, I said, do you want to make a claim? I said, no, I paid the tow truck, so there's no claim. So I was going overseas. I got a phone call from State Farm, who was my agent for 30 years here, asking me about a claim. I said, I don't have a claim. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, you had a claim in December. I said, I didn't have any claim. I've never made a claim. And they didn't say what it was for, so I got no idea what this is about. So I said, you do your research, but I never filed a claim. So they let it go. 3 weeks later, I get another call from State Farm again. Said, we want to close your claim. And I keep telling them, I don't have a claim. They gave me the same information, they're going to let it go, whatever. A week later, I get a phone call. So now I'm done with this. I said, what is the claim? Who made a claim? I've never made one to my agent or anybody. So then they gave me the details. They said, well, you had an accident in December. I said, no. I said, the dog went off the road. Tow truck came. There was no damages. There was no property damage, ditch, nothing. So there was no claim. I said, well, you have a claim in. I said, how can I have a claim? I've never made a claim. And so finally, they do something, and they come back a week later again and said, well, the town of skowhegan and the fire department made a claim. And I said, for what? And they said, well, they're asking us for $1,240 for, we don't even really know. They said that gets turned over to this Central Maine Cost Recovery, LLC. So I got the name and number of that. I called Central Maine Cost Recovery. I said, well, who are you and what are you doing? He said, well, I represent the town of skowhegan and you have a claim. I said, I've never made a claim. He said, well, the fire department did. I said, for what? So he looks up the records. He said, I said, what are they billing you for and how much? They billed $1,240, the town, for State Farm, for me, or for that fire truck to come to that scene. I said, what for? He said, they said it was for traffic control. That's what was written on the estimate. And so the police department's there, they do traffic. I didn't know that the fire department's now does traffic control at something like this. He said, I don't know. I said, well, how do you bill? I never made a claim, so how can you go make a claim against me for something that I pay taxes for, that as far as I know, if there's an accident and I live here, and I own a lot of property and pay a lot of taxes, now the fire department is billing people for an accident? He said, all I do is this. I said, well, I'm going to call the fire department. I'm going to find out what's going on. He says, don't do that. This is Central Maine Cost Recovery. I said, why not? He said, well, I'll take care of it all right now. And I said to him, well, if they sent you a bill, what's your responsibilities? He said, well, we advocate for the towns. A bunch of towns do this. He said, I'm adding 2 more people. I got so much business I can't keep up. I said, well, imagine you do. But I've never heard of such a thing. He said, well, I can make the whole thing. I said, I'm calling the fire department. I want to find out who did this, where's this coming from, what are the stipulations for this whole thing, who oversees this. I got a lot of questions. He said, no, don't do that, don't do that. He says, I'll take care of it right now, take care of the whole thing. I said, you're going to make this thing go away? Because I'm going to call State Farm back. I'm not paying, because they won't pay the claim. They'll pay $250 of it. They won't pay $1,240 just to make it go away. But then it goes against my record, which I have no claim of in the first place. So that's aggravating to me. So he calls me back 10 minutes later and says, well, I took care of it. He didn't take care of it. He billed State Farm the $250, let the $1,000 go, whatever, $980 or $90, and says it's all taken care of. Well, it's not. So I called the chief. Finally, it took me a while to get a hold of him, but he was very good about it. I spent quite a bit of time on the phone with him going back about how this whole thing came about, how it's run, and how I think that, in theory, it sounds like a good practice. God knows the fire department needs the money, but here's this guy who does whatever he seems to want to do, and I don't see how, if I sent you a bill for $1,000, how a third party could sit there and write off whatever he wants and you get whatever you can get. That's about what it looks like it comes down to. Town gives a bill, doesn't mean they're going to collect that money, but they're willing to take anything they can get. On the other side of it, I'm the guy on the other hand who's paying now for something that he never put a claim in on. My insurance is going to go up, so it's costing me when I pay taxes for that service to come anyway. So I would commend the chief because he got on the guy. I said, I want this money sent back. I don't think State Farm should have to pay it. And so he did, and I have the original claim that State Farm sent me, showed me that they made the claim against me for this company. And then Chief Howard just gave me the slips. I said, I want this guy to show that he actually sent the money back to State Farm and paid it back, because it's my understanding from the chief that if you are a resident here or whatever, if you don't make a claim at an accident, then the town and this whole thing, one of the stipulations is that they don't make a claim either. This guy, all of a sudden, who owns this company, says he isn't aware of that. He bought the company 18 months ago, and he didn't know that. Well, I've been in business a long time. And on the phone with this guy, my question for the town, one of the reasons that I'm here is, who's watching this? This is a third-party recovery, a third-party vendor of yours. So who's overseeing him for what he's doing on your behalf? That's one thing. The second thing is, this money doesn't even go to the fire department. It goes into the general fund, according to my understanding. If you're going to use the fire department's name, good name, and bill for the fire department to come to someplace, then me being a taxpayer, I would think that that money would go to the fire department, because they sure as hell need it. But that isn't the case here. It goes wherever, and the billing is whatever, and who's watching this thing? Who came up with it? It's a good idea to get some money for the town, but how this thing is being run and what's going on with it, I think is pretty poor. I don't know how many people in town after this happened, and not one person had any idea this even existed, and then when you sell them with the fire department, you get the money. There's a lot of unhappy people. So I'm here tonight, one, just to bring these things up, and two, I just don't think it's right.
Well, let me answer your first question
Go ahead.
first, reference to the billing. Now, it's under my understanding, I mean, this company, and the chief can correct me here, that the company it doesn't know any of this until they're actually sent a bill.
We send an invoice, correct?
So whatever that bill, and this was back in 2010, and I guess it was talked about before, but back in 2010, the board at that time enacted this, which a lot of towns do for actions as far as fire departments or whatever, and bill for. Now it's only supposed to be billed. And I'm not sure where the shortfall, where it fell. I don't know, but obviously there was a mistake, which they corrected, and unfortunately, in order for that to be corrected, you had to go through a lot of stuff that you shouldn't have to go through.
All right.
That if there is no claim, then there is no bill. Is how it works. So if there is, that's how it's supposed to work. Now, where that slipped through the cracks, I don't know. But it did.
My question is, how many more slipped?
None should be, because,
who's minding this store?
well, again, this company is only whatever they're given, so.
Who's giving it to them? Who gives them the bill?
Fire department.
And and how do they come to the amount of money to charge for a bill?
You want to answer that, Sean?
Yeah, that was set, the fee schedule was set and voted on by the selectmen. I have the dates, but it was voted on by the board of selectmen, the fee schedule.
So who can look at the fee schedule and see, I mean,
It's
how is
right on
that
the town's
broken down?
web.
You charge for an ambulance, or you charge a certain amount for like this, or?
Yeah, we charge a certain amount, it's per person and for apparatus, and the fee schedule is right on the town's website.
Okay, because I just wonder, how do you come up with $1,240 for that, especially?
Until I saw the bill, I wouldn't be, because I don't know unless I
Me
saw the
either.
bill. Now, to answer your other question, and I'm not saying that I disagree with you, reference to, this money that is generated through this, I'm not gonna, I agree with you, the fact that, maybe the money should go, towards, to the fire department. But unfortunately, a lot of things in town that we do, fees or whatever, it's just practice that it goes into the general fund.
Can I answer that? So so the town is required to budget our revenues. So we have revenues for many of our departments. Excise tax is a revenue. The idea is excise tax that you pay on your vehicle fixes the roads. Well, we budget that revenue, and it's certainly, we take in less than what we spend on the roads. Does it directly go to the highway department? No, not like that, because we budget all of our revenues. That offsets our entire budget. So fees that they collect at the transfer station for certain items, it's budgeted revenue, it goes into the general fund at the end of the year. Same thing with fire department. Those fees are budgeted revenue that go into the general fund. So at the end, if we collect more revenues than we budgeted, which we should be doing, it will help offset taxes in a later year.
So,
But it offsets the budget that very
I fully
year.
understand. I have a couple degrees in business economics.
Okay.
I'm well versed in budgets for towns. I was on budget committees in other towns. So I
Okay.
know how it works. My question here is, if I wanted to come in, being a taxpayer, and say, how much money is the fire department taking in on this particular thing? Is there any record of that? Does
Yeah.
anybody know?
Yeah.
And how would you see that?
Gail's gonna have records on what we receive from the company that's cash receipted. And Sean has the billing history. So we have both sides of it. We have records
Yeah,
of.
so the last part of it is, after my conversations with this man in this company, who oversees what he does? I mean, here's this guy who basically can make your bill go away. And I don't, I mean, I give bills to people and I don't think it's, and I have a lot of third-party vendors that I do business with, but I don't understand how this man, if the town sends a bill, the fire department, for $1,240, they expect to get paid $1,240. So-
Well, any type of collection agency that works with any types of insurances, the hospitals have similar things where, you have a bill and sometimes you don't collect the full amount of that bill.
So your agreement with this person or this company is that take what you can get, whatever you can get, and that's it?
I'd have to pull up our agreement to tell you exactly what the language is, but, I mean, that's how third-party billing usually goes for any type of collections. There's some leeway there.
Well, there's a lot of leeway with this guy, and it was not, as far as I'm concerned, to say the least, up to any professional standard.
See, I have to agree with this individual here. I mean, if we're giving this company, and this company is collecting 20%, that's what their fee is, and we're getting the 80%, correct?
Correct.
That he should be in any negotiating power as far as the billing. Now, if he wants to contact you as the one that invoiced to say, hey, I don't think he should have the power to do it upon himself. I think it should be going through you, whether the money, that bill is paid or what percentage of that bill is paid, because that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and as Christine said, we'll have to go back and look at the contract and what it says. I cannot remember if it says anything like that. And this is the first instance that I've heard of that. Every other time, we submit the invoices. He sends it out to insurance companies, and then he connects it to the accident report that's generated by PDs. And then when the insurance company pays, he pays out once a month, and he takes a 20% cut, we get 80%. This is the first instance that I've heard of him saying, there was he was working at a reduced amount.
So how did this slip through? Because obviously nothing should have been sent to the insurance company where there's no action report because it's an unreportable accident.
And I asked him that. He did not have a solid answer for why that happened. More than it was a mistake, that it got sent off and shouldn't have been sent off. He understands that. He apologized, and within I would say 2 hours, he contacted State Farm, let them know that he'd made a mistake, and got that claim dismissed. He forwarded that email chain with State Farm to me, which I printed off and gave to Mr. Polo tonight. So I don't have a good answer for that, more than he said it was a mistake.
And I also want to point out that the reason we went to a third-party collector is because their collection rates are much higher than what we were personally experiencing when the fire department was sending out invoices to the insurance companies. We weren't getting paid. So that's why we went to a third-party company. So the fact that he may make some of the bill go away, I personally don't have an issue with that. I think their collection rates speak volumes compared to
I'm
what
not
we
Sure,
were
his
doing.
collection rate does speak volumes.
But I'm not disputing the fact that, and I don't have a problem with going through a third party.
Yep.
But I don't think they should be having negotiating power over our invoice.
And I don't think when I call this company up and I say to him, I never made a claim, and she's supposed to be fully aware if there was no claim made, then he can't make a claim, which he claims now he didn't have any knowledge of that. I spoke to Sean about that. He said, well, I wasn't aware of that. So that's in his contract. You have a contract, I mean, it's fully stipulated, if there's no claim made, he can't make a claim. And so you take it one step further, and I say to the guy, well, I'm gonna go to the fire department and find out what's going on. And he does not want me to go to the fire. He blatantly tells me, no, don't do that, you don't need to do that, over and over again. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that whole practice and what he's doing. You say you're, and I would say, yeah, he's probably collecting a lot of money for you. Well, I can see why he is. You know, that's poor practice. I'm up here, we're all here, it's the public. It's a public service. Betty was my agent for State Farm for many, many years. And I don't need my insurance going up for something I didn't make a claim for. And in the policy of the town, if you don't make a claim, then there is no claim.
Correct.
And here's this guy he gets a percentage. So his only incentive is to make a claim. His only incentive is to get his 20%. I got no problem with that either. But how he's doing it, in the name of the town or whatever, and what else he's done, that's why, if he did it to me, it's the first instance you've heard of. If this is his practice and he's gonna claim stupidity, well, sorry, Charlie, you know, it doesn't work that way.
I don't disagree with you. Betty?
I'd like to see if we could look at this.
Yep.
And since it's been since 2010, at the time, insurance companies weren't paying a lot of bills to the fire department. We might find it different now than we did then. We might not need
I think
someone
it
like
is.
this.
I asked State Farm, I
Yeah.
said, do you pay these
Yeah.
claims?
Yeah.
She said, we'll only pay a percentage of something.
Mhm.
I said, how much was the bill? $1,240. And I said, for what? She didn't even know. The claims representative is not here, they're in Illinois or wherever she is. She said, I have no idea. I said, so why would you pay a bill if you don't even know what it's for? It's from the fire department for this accident. I said, there was no accident. There's no report generated. There's no accident. There's no claim made. She said, well, there is a claim, and even though I didn't make it, they're making it for me. But you can't do that. That's the law. You can't make a claim against me for somebody else.
Right.
Third party, it's like it's like somebody suing somebody for somebody else and they had nothing to do with it. You can't do that. And this guy's practice of me calling, when I spoke to the chief about it, and he basically called the guy and got the same kind of feeling that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we had that conversation, he said, it doesn't sound right. His excuses for what he did just doesn't stand the test.
I'll work with Sean on looking into
He called me back, the guy, after he had called him,
how they bill.
and said, you need to make that. I said, what I want to do is, if the town has been paid, they need to put the money back. But so you hadn't got the money, and State Farm hadn't sent, they were about to do it. And I said, I want that proof of that. I want him to show that he paid them back some way, because I don't trust a thing he says. If you came in here and something, Betty said, well, geez, don't tell Paul about what I said. That's basically what his deal was. That doesn't fly with me.
Nope.
If you got nothing to hide, all your cards are on the table. So with me, with this guy and his practice of what happened to me, here's my cards on the table, but that guy's cards aren't on the table. If he's gonna work for the town on your behalf to collect money, then he ought to do it in a way it should be done. Not like this.
Nope, I don't disagree. So what we'll do is we'll revisit this and we'll get some answers. And we will make sure that you are notified of,
I'm all
that.
set.
Well, I'll have them notify you the fact of, what changes or what, because I don't,
Yeah, I'd
I
like
don't
to
disagree
know
with you.
how you're gonna deal with that.
Yep,
Really,
yep,
that's
nope,
all. This guy's tried to call me back, and I got nothing else to say to him. I mean,
Yep.
I got done what I had to do, and I don't have anything else.
No, we'll make sure someone gets a hold of you once we revisit it and decide what we're gonna do, and that way you're aware of it.
And the other side of it is, I mean, we've donated a lot of money to the town for the world. We'll do anything we can here, we always have.
Mhm.
That issue of the, sorry about my phone, of the fire department not getting the money, and I understand budget-wise how it goes, but if you're using, because I asked the police department, do you charge when you go to an accident? And they said, no, they were told if the fire department comes, you turn over the insurance information to them. And I said, well, why would you do that? He said, because they have this agreement and they can bill for it. I said, you don't? He said, no. I said, well, I wonder how long it's gonna take before that happens.
Well, I'll tell you, the problem is, and everybody has the same issue, that fire departments are, and more all the time, are doing traffic control versus PD, because usually, you know, you have one officer show up, obviously you can't do traffic control because you're trying to deal with the accident. So, you know, the fire department ends up, you know, because they, you know, like a lot of these volunteer fire, you know, departments, and they're the ones directing traffic and you know, and whatnot. So, but we'll revisit it, and I will make sure that someone gets a hold of you to at least give you the, you know, on what has been decided and what we've done, how this whole thing is kind of evolved, and you know, keep you in the loop with it. So, and I do apologize for all the inconvenience, because it certainly was an inconvenience to you, and it shouldn't have happened. So, and I do thank you for bringing that to our attention. Absolutely. So I do thank you for bringing that to our attention, so we can try to correct this, whichever way we need to go, and hopefully it doesn't happen to somebody else. So we're all set.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Jason, do you have something?
Oh, yeah. Just a couple things. So, Hospice has Memorial Gardens tomorrow night down in Coburn Park. Just want to put that out there if anybody wants to attend that. Chamberside, Candidates Night, Monday night, the 3rd, over at the old VFW Hall, the Todd's building, the hall, so on Main Street. And then, the one thing I wanted to mention, because it's been getting brought up a lot, CGI, the company we worked with last year, the year before, for the videos for the town website that we had major issues with. Somerset County is contracted with them, and we're going through the same ordeal. CGI is contacting the businesses in the community, representing the county, that's their contract, but it's an ongoing battle, so businesses, if you talk to businesses, if they're saying they've been contacted by CGI for everybody to dawn in Somerset County, my phone keeps blowing up every day with it, so it's a nuisance, but that's their agreement, so I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that as well, that they are back, but they're working for Somerset County. Yeah, and we have a lot of people, I've been on the phone a lot today with individuals and companies out of state that are looking to relocate to skowhegan and the community in the region as well. So it's starting to pick up to be that time of year where everybody's starting to itch to come out. So we're hoping that we can get some of these that are coming up towards the end of the summer for nail down 3 companies that are coming to town. So I may reach out to the board to see if you want to sit down with them for a few minutes, meet them, and try and get them more attracted to skowhegan. So we do have those coming as well. So just so you're aware.
Thank you. Anyone else? Move on to Slogan's items. Betty?
Thank you. Andy, come on up. Last Thursday at the State House, I got to talk about Mandy, but he didn't know it. And we have a sentiment here from Mandy. And I'm going to let you have that book since that talks about you there. And this sentiment is yours. And, whoops, these papers, they always stick. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, join in recognizing Randy Gregg of Skowhegan, who is retiring as code enforcement officer, and actually much more, and from his other duties with the town of Skowhegan after more than 30 years of public service. And I think it's 37, right? 39, okay, well, I was born there. Okay, after definitely more than 30 years, Mr. Gray recently received the Distinguished Service Award from the Maine Resource Recovery Association and has been selected to receive the Code Enforcement Officer of the Year Award from the Maine Building Officials and Inspectors Association. We extend our congratulations and best wishes, and be it ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 129th Legislature and the people of the state of Maine. Well deserved.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Here's a handy dandy little one.
Thank you very much.
Got a bunch of them. I'm done.
Roger. Just a quick comment on the Memorial Day parade and ceremony. It was held next door at the Veterans Park. It was a beautiful day for a parade, well attended. Nice ceremony next door. I'd like to specifically thank the departments that were involved. Highway, police, fire, excellent showing, nice job. And the ceremony next door was very nice.
Can I just add that all of our departments looked excellent too. They had some uniforms on, and our police chief, even though sadly it doesn't fit him quite as good as it used to because he's lost weight, he still looked pretty good in that.
Oh, boy, Chief.
It was better with the bump shooters.
Well, I was going to talk about that. And also, one of our workers, Walter Powell, he was there and marched and looked very good in his uniform also. And it was really nice of him to be willing to spend his day to do that.
One more question for Greg. What's the timeline for the paving to be finished on North Ave?
Well, if everything goes well, the weather cooperates a little better than it has, we're looking at probably the third week of June. We still have, we still got work left on the Dudley Corner Road and some left on the East River Road. And it's gonna take the guys probably 2 more weeks to raise up all the manholes and the water company to get the shut-offs. That's all we do.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, congratulations, Randy.
Thank you.
It's just a testament to the workers that we do have in the town of Skowhegan, and you certainly have done your time, and have done an excellent job for the town, and it's well deserved, so.
Appreciate that.
Now that we brought up roads, pass those along. This is Dudley Corner Road, our new hot top. Done by our grader.
This is a finished product?
Well, it's first coat, we still have another coat, but shouldn't matter. That's just a few that I took.
So you get scraped a little hard.
Just a little bit. I guess I don't understand, Greg, why we do what we do. Now, I mean, this is a brand new hot top, I get it, it's first coat, but, I mean, they demolished this hot top. I mean, it's broken on the sides, I mean, it's scarred. I don't get it. I mean, we're paying a ton of money to try to keep, hot top our roads, and then we get this.
Well, I guess I'm not sure exactly. I mean, what I saw out there was the edge breaking away, and that's because the edges are thin. And what we're doing is, because what's called the leveling course is put on. That way the grader can follow that to cut the shoulders back, because all the shoulders out there are pretty high from winter sand and whatever. And then what we do is, especially like on the Dudley Corner Road, there's a lot of places out there where we're gonna have to go out and clean up the solid because there's so much. You know, Corey's the best operator I have, and, you know, I don't believe that anything is done, you know, because he doesn't know what he's doing, but it's just difficult sometimes to follow that edge of the road, especially on the road like the Betty Corner Road, where it's not, the road itself isn't well structured. So you're gonna have some issues with the shoulders, and he did in a few places, like with Danny, what's his name, Kinney's. He did get into the hot top, and I mean, there's nothing I can do about that now. I mean, it wasn't planned.
Well, I would hope it's not planned, but the point is, I mean, here we are getting brand new hot top. I mean, the road's been like, I mean, Dudley Corner's been like in major ruins for a long time. So they finally, you know, got some good pavement going, and then we get this, and I've had this complaint.
What will happen is that once we finish getting the shoulders cut back, and we get the sod cleaned up, then we're gonna come back and pave it. And all those damaged areas, I mean, when we're cleaning it up, we're gonna clean up those pieces of broken hot top. And so when we put the finish coat on, they'll fill those areas. So then you're gonna come back to a straight edge when you put the riding course on. I mean,
There's gotta be a better way to fill the side of the road from the hot top, from the side of the road, than trying to use our grader. Because I see it everywhere we go, we get brand new hot top, and then all of a sudden they go with the grader and try to grade the side of the road, and then you get all these marks all the way on the brand new hot top. And then, to boot, which has been a complaint, and I've brought to the attention several times, year after year, because dirt goes into the road, obviously, because we're grading and trying to fill in, and then it doesn't get cleaned up, it just gets left there. Well, it looks horrible, absolutely horrible, which we have this here. Now, I mean, we do have a rotary broom, correct, on the loader, so why aren't we using it? I don't get it. I don't get it why it's left there. It looks terrible. It just doesn't look good for the town.
well, I didn't notice there's any debris left on the road. Because typically, if there is anything there that amounts to anything, we do sweep it. Because we don't want rocks on the road. But, you know, a little bit of dirt doesn't hurt. I mean,
You want to see my photos? Because it's
I
there.
didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see that.
It's there. I
But
don't.
we do sweep it, and if it, you know, I guess if I'd have known that, if I'd have checked up on Corey right after he did it, to see if he needed to be swept.
I mean, this is a mess.
Isn't typically the shoulders done first before it's paved?
No, because you need that leveling course to get the pitch of the road to cut the shoulders. Because if you try to do it before, which you can do before, but it's a lot harder, because the road changes. You know? That's why you put the leveling course in to get it back to where it's supposed to be before you put the line course on. That's
I
what we
mean,
did.
this is a lot of damage. This isn't just, I mean, there's a lot of damage here. There's got to be a better way. I mean, and if we need to get these guys trained better, then we probably should do so. Because, I mean, that's just, it's horrible, horrible.
Yeah. That shouldn't have happened.
Can I have them? Thank you.
Department and committee reports. Start with you, Randy.
Yep, just a few moments I could. So, as Chrissy mentioned, I did receive code enforcement officer award last week. More important than the award which pretty humbling to a guy like me, to tell the truth. There's my co-workers coming down, Christine, Jean, Sean, Jason, Tricia, my family. So, thank you all so much. I've gotten way more from this town than this town's received from me. And I appreciate this stuff very much. And I'll be honored to hang it in a proud place for the rest of my life. Thank you. That's all I have.
Well, I did say if we could have kept it a secret from him and shut down the town, we all would have gone. And I know many, many
I
more
know.
people wanted to go.
And thank you all very much.
Well, thank you, so. John?
On that note, it was a pleasure to be down there and watch Randy receive that award. And the greatest thing is everybody that you speak to down there that came by to say congratulations to Randy, they follow that up with, how are you going to replace him? You know, and just, you know, so many words, especially from members of the fire marshal's office that work with Randy for so long. They just have so many good things to say. And I know we're kind of in the countdown mode here. There's not much time left, and wishing you well, Randy. You made an impact not only here in Skowhegan, but across the state, really. And that showed well through there. So that's all.
Thank you, Sean.
Chief?
Well, Randy, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. I was out of state at some training, but I was there spiritually with you because I knew about your award that was taking place. So congratulations. And I've only been here a couple of years, and I know your time's going away, but I do enjoy you poking your head in my office just to say good morning, and I'm definitely going to miss that. So don't cry.
I won't.
On the PD side of the house, Officer Andrew Bowman just graduated from the Maine Criminal Justice Academy. Right now, that puts us back at full strength until July when Officer Burns will be headed to the academy. So he did very well there, and the ceremony was phenomenal. Again, going off Selectmen Staples, on the Memorial Day Parade, it was a great showing out there. We had a lot of people out on the streets, on both sides of Madison Avenue, Water Street. A lot of veterans out there, and a lot of young adults that were out there in support of our veterans that were in the parade, and then even at the memorial where we honored those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in this country. So just wanted to say thank you to all of them as well. And, earlier today, we are dealing with a fatal car crash that took place on Route 2. It did shut down traffic for a few hours while we conducted our investigation. We have met with the other half of the parties, and they have been informed, and we just want to say our hearts and prayers go out to the family, to everybody that was involved with that accident. It's no easy feat to deal with that on the day, so on any day. So please, everybody, when you're driving, make sure you're paying attention out on the roads. Put your phones down. Pay attention to what's around you. Stay in your lane, please, and try to save wherever it is that you go. And especially make sure you appreciate that you control. That's all.
Thank you. Greg?
Yeah, Christine and I went down to DOT last Thursday. We had a second bridge committee meeting, and we worked on the schedule, and going forward with the bridge, and also started the looking at the purpose and need statement. No discussion about exactly where the bridge is going to go yet, and it's all work in that direction. And at that meeting, we found out that, I don't know if you were on the board yet, Roger, or not, but Paul, you and Betty were, and we talked about the lights at the intersection of Commercial and Madison Avenue. And they didn't think we really stood a chance about getting them. Well, next summer they're going in. We got awarded the project, and so that's going to happen. It's going to be reality. Also, I met with the DOT and Pike about Waterville Road and West Front Street. And the scheduling right now looks like that they're going to be the week after before. They'll be going through this all-night work. They'll melt through, and then go to Nodge Walk, and then we'll raise the manholes, and then they'll come back through and pave that. So this should be all done before Fair Week, hopefully. If not, they'll wait till after Fair Week. Highway Congress, equipment show, June 6th. Hope you can make it. I put you on the list, so you should have a meal ticket there. And if you can't, no worries, but it'd be nice if you could. Other than that, we're just pretty busy.
What's the status with the island? What's the schedule for
All
that?
that. The water company's all done, and I'm not sure when they're gonna start, because that's all night work. I wanted to say June 5th, July 5th, they were gonna start on redecking the bridges. But I'm not sure of it yet. I didn't read the last meeting, but we have another one coming up, so as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
How long, any idea how long it's gonna take?
Almost this summer.
Yeah.
Gail?
Just congratulations to Randy. Let everybody know that we're still doing absentee ballots until 4:30 on June 6th, and then voting day, June 11th.
Trish?
Have interviews tomorrow for the solid waste management facility transfer attendant position, and congratulations to Randy. You're certainly giving us a lot more than we've given you, but well deserved.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if I could just, I should have mentioned this before, but my head was kind of swollen up.
Back to reality.
My son has been in the Air Force, he's Master Sergeant Air Force for 18 and a half years. And he was chosen this past week to be Grand Marshal of an NASCAR race of the thousands and thousands of people. So, talk about an honor. That's something that makes me so proud of you. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you for obviously a good upbringing, and congratulations to him. Okay, we'll move on. We'll open a public hearing, discussion decision to approve the victual licenses as listed on the public hearing notice through May 31st, 2020. Anybody speak on that? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
I make a motion that we approve the victuals licenses.
I second that.
We have a first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? 3-0. Consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
We have a first and second. All in favor? Discussion decision to appoint the following with terms expiring January 1st, 2021. Larry Bono, Deputy Registrar of Voters, and Chelsea Gardner, Deputy Registrar of Voters.
So moved.
Second?
First and second. All in favor? Discussion decision to expend an amount not to exceed $170,000 from the Highway Department Roads and Sidewalks account resurfacing designation for other work related to paving.
So moved.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes 3-0. Discussion decision to redesignate $2,430 from the Police Department Reserve account cruiser replacement designation to the Police Department Reserve account firearms designation.
So moved.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? I guess why?
Last year, when I had the access for firearms and a watch guard,
I made an error when I purchased the watch guard system, which came out of the cruiser replacement instead of the firearms account label. So that money was put back into the watch guard system, or correction, into the cruiser replacement fund, and which put my firearms at $12,000. And as you see on the bottom of that, because I have the extra inside of my cruiser replacement, I'm looking to reallocate some of that back to help cover the cost of the bid process.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes 3-0. Discussion decision to award the AR-15 bid. The following bids were received. A lot. Chief Buckner recommends awarding the AR-15 bid to A&G Shooting and Supply with a total bid price of $14,430 and expending that amount from the Police Department Reserve Account Firearms Designation.
Make a motion that we go with with Chief Bucknam's recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a first and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes 3-0. Nice to see that we had a lot of bids.
Yeah.
Discussion decision to allow Chief Buckner to apply for the Department of Justice 2019 Bulletproof Vest Grant in the amount of $2,500. There is a 50% match for this grant.
So move.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes 3-0. Discussion decision to allow Greg Door to go out to bid for an equipment lift system, and this is contingent upon town meeting.
So move.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes 3-0. Discussion decision to allow Greg Door to go out to bid for a loader, and this is also contingent upon town meeting.
So moved?
Second.
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor? Discussion decision to approve the municipal partnership agreement between the town of Skowhegan and the Maine Department of Transportation for project on basically Route 150.
So move.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor? Passes 3-2. Discussion decision to allow West Arts to install a temporary art project on Doobie Park Trail.
So move.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? I'm assuming we're not responsible for any of this art.
I don't know if you want to let Mary explain what it is.
No. That's the short answer. No, and actually, technically, it's invisible unless it rains. So no one will see it unless it rains.
Show up good
You
today.
want that to happen though, right?
But then it's gonna be visible all the time because that's all we're getting is rain.
Yeah, so right now, it's really good. No, and it's gonna be poetry written by area school kids. So that will be on us. And ultimately, all the materials, the spray is biodegradable, environmentally friendly, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor? Passes 3-2. Discussion decision to approve the ASME union contract.
So move.
Second?
We have a first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes 3-2. Treasurer's warrants to be approved, the amount of $966,495.33.
So move.
Second?
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes 3-0. Any other business? Unfinished business?
Still working on car charging. I have a conference call tomorrow. There's a lot of information to find out, so we're working on it.
All right. We will sign documents and the adjourn meeting.